Rivals Radio.
Welcome back to Rivals Radio, everyone, here on the Rivals Broadcast Network. I'm your host. And ready to jump into what was just an electrifying weekend of conference championship games. We're going to do a deep dive today, really pull out those key moments and set the stage for the big win, the Rivals Cup championship game.
Absolutely. And we have our two teams for the Rivals Cup now. I mean, you saw it, right? Epic battles unfolded. And our mission here in this deep dive, it isn't just about reading scores. We want to truly break down those intense strategic matchups, really get you fired up for the grand finale.
Yeah, that's exactly what makes this whole Rivals football experience so different, isn't it? That sheer passion, the high-stakes drama you see every single week. And we're talking about, player development that's genuinely unique, intense scouting, a draft system that just naturally builds these amazing stories. Honestly, you won't see this kind of player development anywhere else. And the fans, their dedication, pouring everything into their teams, their players, it just makes it all feel so real.
And before we dive into the games themselves, we really have to give a shout out to the Rivals Broadcast Network. Their production this week, incredible. They really, really outdid themselves.
Yeah, from Skip Lloyd's really intimate intro, he's like the human voice of our league,
Yeah.
to that dual commentary with the commissioner back. It's just elevated the whole experience. You feel like they get the weight of these moments. Okay, so let's turn to the Nexus Conference Championship first. Tokyo Riot versus the Albuquerque Dukes. Now, this one was billed as a potential defensive slugfest, and boy, did it deliver. What jumped out right away was the Dukes, this team known for those explosive first-stride TDs, they were held to just a field goal early on. Right, that sets a tone immediately, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It wasn't just like a missed chance. It felt like a statement from the Riot defense. They clearly had a plan, maybe tighter coverage, forcing the Dukes off their usual script right from the start, stifled that rhythm. But the Dukes adjusted. You saw Clint Snyder making those consistent plays. It wasn't just about yards. He was reading those fronts, picking up tough, short gains. That showed real discipline.
Kept the chains moving, kept the pressure on.
Exactly. And that kind of softened up the defense, set the stage for the big play. And then Smokey Smith just uncorked that beautiful 43-yard touchdown to DeMar Briggs. That was huge. Helped them get that 17-3 lead at halftime. Meanwhile, Tony Fry's Riot, they struggled. Hamilton moved the ball sometimes, but they just couldn't punch it in, couldn't convert those opportunities against that Dukes defense, which, bends but doesn't often break.
Always tough when you leave points on the field like that.
It really is. And then the turning point, just a real heartbreaker for the Riot late in the third. Johnny Hobbs gets injured.
Oh, man, Hobbs. That hurts. He's got that energy.
He really does. Fan favorite, that scrappy underdog vibe. Losing him, you could just feel the momentum shift. It shows how one player, one moment, it changes everything. And then, the very next play, Hamilton throws that pick six, 88 yards the other way by Bart Edwards. Just a gut punch.
Wow, talk about compounding the issue.
Right. But credit to the Riot, they didn't fold. They fought back. Backup halfback Gabriel Cleary scores after Chauncey Simmons actually picked off Smokey Smith, showed some real resilience there. But, at the end of the day, the clock just wasn't their friend. They fought hard, clawed back a bit, but couldn't overcome that deficit. Lost 10-27. Still, a hell of a season for the Riot. You got to commend GM Walt Shelby, Tony Fry, the whole team. Valiant effort. But it's the Dukes, with that D and those big plays, heading to the first ever Rivals Cup from the Nexus.
Okay, quite the story there. Now let's switch gears. Apex Conference Championship, Oklahoma City Natives versus the Buffalo Brawlers.
Yeah, and this one had a different feel. The Natives came in as pretty significant underdogs, but they came out swinging, scored the first touchdown, stunned everyone. And their defense, initially anyway, looked like they might actually be able to hang with that powerhouse Brawlers offense.
Always love seeing an underdog start fast like that. Puts the favorite on notice.
It does. Maybe they had a great opening script, some blitz packages to rattle Frost, but then Andrew Frost happened.
Yes, Mr. Frost, the X Factor player.
Exactly. X Factor, league's first ever 0-year Super Bowl MVP. That tag marks him as one of those foundational guys from the very beginning. And he just showed why he's in that MVP conversation again. He took over that 20-yard scramble for their first touchdown. That wasn't just athleticism. It showed how he can break a play down and still make something incredible happen. Then right before halftime, that pass, like a frozen rope for another TD, made it 27.
And those stats, 340 yards, 100% completion, that's just unreal.
It's insane, right? But it also tells you something about their offense. High percentage, quick leads, getting the ball out fast, probably to negate that Natives pass rush we suspected they might bring. They trust Frost implicitly. Now, GM Clint Baker's natives, they didn't just roll over, they fought back, put up 10 more points. Rookie Russell Watson, he showed some real flashes. You can see why they're excited about him, even if the supporting cast maybe isn't quite there yet for this level of game.
Need more pieces around him, maybe?
Yeah, potentially, because the natives' defense, despite that early promise, they just couldn't consistently stop Ronnie Leak on the ground. Remember, he's a superstar player himself, led the league in rushing, and they couldn't stop Frost through the air either. The Brawlers just have too many weapons. Their dominance became pretty clear. To beat Buffalo, you basically have to match them score for score.
And the natives couldn't quite keep that pace.
Nope. The Brawlers just kind of wore them down, methodical, won it 38-17. So Buffalo takes the Apex crown and punches their ticket to the Rivals Cup against the Dukes.
Wow. So there we have it. Two champions, two very different styles heading to the final. You've got the Dukes relying on that defensive grid, making those huge, timely plays, and then the Brawlers, just pure offensive dominance, that relentless attack. What makes this matchup so compelling for the first ever Rivals Cup? It feels like a classic clash.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's the ultimate question, right? Defense versus offense. History often favors defense in big games, but this Brawlers offense, it's operating on another level. It's so efficient, so many ways to beat you. So can the Dukes' defense, which has stifled great offenses before, can they slow down Frost's precision and Leak's power? Yeah. And can they create those turnovers, those big plays they thrive on?
Against that offense? That's the million-dollar question.
It is. It's a clash of philosophies, really. A tactical chess match. And the stakes. I mean, the league trophy, the prize money, bragging rights for being the first. You just cannot miss this one. It's going to be legendary.
Absolutely. Feels like a blockbuster in the making. The Dukes' magic versus the Brawlers' machine. Rivals Nation, you know we're going to break this down even further. Stay tuned for our big preview show. That's definitely the plan. Make sure you're following all the league's social media. Subscribe to the channel right here so you don't miss anything. And hey, don't forget the college season. It's just a few weeks away. So much more action coming. Remember, your involvement, creating players, having your say, that's what makes this whole thing tick. It's what makes Rivals football. Well, Rivals football.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you all for listening from Rivals Radio on the Rivals Broadcast Network.
It's Rivals Radio.